Portsmouth have already secured a place at Wembley in the Chequer Trade Trophy final. But for Kenny Jackett's side, the aim is promotion, and an emphatic 5-1 win over Bradford last weekend ended a run of 8 league games without a victory. Today they face fellow playoff contenders Charlton. Off the field, there have been stories of a long hoped-for takeover this week. Meanwhile, on it, Lee Bowyer will be hoping to lead the Addicts into the top 6 for the second season in a row. It's the 100th meeting between these two sides. Charlton against Portsmouth is live from the Valley with kick-off at 5:30. Few games today in the League One promotion race. Barnsley are unbeaten in 16 league games after beating Accrington 2-0. Table toppers Luton didn't win but did stretch their unbeaten run to a hefty 23 league games with a draw at Plymouth. Quick shout out to Blackpool, the first game of the post-Oyston era. 15,000 fans packed into Bloomfield Road, but unfortunately weren't rewarded with a win. Sunderland needed a 94th minute equaliser to salvage a point against Wycombe. Hell of a game, that 3 red cards in stoppage time. 14 games unbeaten now for the Black Cats. So, as we look at the table, Luton's lead at the top cut to 3 points. Barnsley are 4 points clear of third place. Doncaster and Peterborough both drop points, so Charlton with a chance to put 8 points of daylight between themselves and 7th place. So 2 teams in action this evening for whom the Premier League is a distant memory. Promotion from League One, though, will be the first step back on the way to the big time. Delighted to have alongside me former Pompey midfielder Michael Brown. We'll get his thoughts in just a second, but first, both managers, as ever, have been talking to Jonathan Oakes.
Well, Lee, with the games ticking down now, how significant a day is this for you against the big promotion rival?
I think from now on in, they're all big games. Everybody seems to be fighting for something, whether you're down at the bottom, whether you're at the top. Today's important because us and Portsmouth are fighting for promotion. So I think it's going to be a competitive game. Hopefully we compete, do what we're good at. We've got strengths, they've got strengths. Both have weaknesses. So for me, I think the ground's going to be bouncing. I think it's going to be electric out there, and these are the games why people play football. So for me, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Kenny, you've hit form lately. How have you managed to turn draws into wins the last couple of games?
Good week last week, a tricky tie at Bury, and then a good home win 5 against Bradford. So looking to build on that today if we can. Confidence is high at the moment, although it'll be a tough game today. Be 2 good sides, I think, and obviously well-supported clubs, a good atmosphere. So tough game, but we're looking forward to it and continue the good form and the upward climb.
A second game banned from the touchline today. Where will you be watching the game and how will you be communicating with the bench?
I'll have a radio and I'll be up in the press area. So Jacko will be passing on information, no different to last week. Worked last week, and the good thing is they don't get me screaming at them from the side like they do, like they usually do. So yeah, that's why I'm watching it today.
Perhaps giving the Charlton players a welcome respite from the way that Lee Bowyer is leading his side. Let's look at Portsmouth. We're talking about a good week. It could be a great week, couldn't it? Kenny Jackett talking about the fact of 2 decent wins, but with Sunderland and Luton both dropping points, it could be an even better week with a victory today, couldn't it?
It's a magnificent opportunity for them. We've seen pre-Christmas, they had a wonderful run, then they've sort of stuttered a little bit. They were excellent against Bury, and to go and win 5, confidence is back, they're scoring goals, so it will be a tough place to go up the Valley, but, away from home, Portsmouth do very, very well.
But Rona Curtis, instrumental in the win over Bradford. I mean, he's now a full Republic of Ireland international at 22 years old. I mean, just how big a talent are we talking about here? I've
been really impressed with him. At Bury, he started on the right-hand side. He did well, he was the threat. They changed him now onto the left-hand side. He got himself a goal. And he's developing well. The more games, the higher standards he can play. And obviously being an international now, that's obviously going to progress his career. So he's one to watch for me. From Charlton's point of view, top scorer Callum Grant left in January. Now, the predominance of their goals is coming from set pieces. I mean, how much do we afford Lee Bowyer the credit for this? I mean, it obviously shows that they do work on it intelligently in training, doesn't it? It does show that, and I think that's a one saving grace for them, that they are scoring from set pieces, because in open play they haven't been too good. But long may that continue. But when you lose your star player to Huddersfield, he was a different threat also, that he'd actually play on the shoulder, he stretched teams, so when they're moving the ball around in that diamond, they had an out, and that's been the difference for them. Much heralded arrival of Johnny Williams in January from Crystal Palace, obviously Premier League experience, international experience. I mean, has he hit the ground running? I mean, are we expecting more from Williams in this side? It's always a tough one. I think he's struggled with his injuries. He's now getting a run of games, which is great, so 9 appearances. But again, he's got to have goals, assists, some sort of threat, and that's what he's not brought to the team. So for all his nice passes, his nice ability on the ball, he's now at this time of the season, he's got to be rewards with assists or a goal.
What's the key for the game today? Do we look at a Pompey side coming in full of confidence?
Very much so, full of confidence. I'm intrigued to see, obviously, in the middle of the park where that's going to be won. We know Lee Boyer and Johnny Jackson, they want to play around, they're sticking with that diamond. And, you know, that's where Portsmouth are strong, out of possession, very, very well drilled, as we know from Kenny Jackett. So it'll be a real interesting game, top game at the top of League One.
Of course, these two teams met at Fratton Park in December, and it was Charlton that came away with a well-fought victory. Goals from Carlin Grant, as we said, the top scorer that's since moved on, and the winner from Nicky Ajose, meaning they left Portsmouth with all 3 points. And there's certainly plenty at stake today, with both of these sides pushing for promotion from League One. Kick-off in this one is coming next. Today is Charlton's annual Red, White and Black Day, and former Addicts player Carl Leeburn and Paul Mortimer have led a parade of Charlton fans with the aim of celebrating diversity and to tackle discrimination. It's 5th versus 6th in League One from the Valley as Charlton take on Portsmouth. Kick-off in just a couple of minutes' time. Michael Brown is here alongside me in the studio. When we look at the way the game's set up, and a win for Pompey would take them closer to second spot. I mean, are we looking at a Pompey side that could still make the automatic promotion place at the end of the season? I
think they still can. It will be difficult, as we know. Obviously, Barnsley going very, very well, and Luton's run's been incredible. So it's still there for them, but it will be tight.
Charlton fast starters, especially so at the Valley. I mean, something that Portsmouth have to be wary of, but Charlton take great confidence from.
Very much so. The score, 10 goals so far in the first 15 minutes in game, so that's a great start. So we know they start well, and Portsmouth have got to be ready for it because of that first, you know, that can be crucial in this type of game. OK, let me hand you over to your commentary team at the Valley. Don Goodman at first, Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, David. The two teams lined up in the tunnel at the Valley and both about to step down into the Valley. And this patch of grass in this valley in southeast London has been a place of solace for Charlton Athletic, surrounded by the chaos from on up high. The players, fans and management team have been united on the pitch. No takeover yet. They have an owner who has invested money but has now cut the budget and wants out. That is now the background noise. The focus is on promotion for 90 minutes. But this will be a big test of Charlton's credentials. Portsmouth have steadied their feet after being sent tumbling from top spot. They owned the #1 spot in this league for a couple of months, but Pompey have had to watch on as the top two have disappeared from view. Kenny Jackett has given out his instructions. His team are ready to go. And these are the teams, and Charlton lost Carlin Grant in January to Huddersfield. He was their leading scorer with 14 at the time. So Lyle Taylor is having to forge a new partnership up front with Igor Vetekele. Taylor has now taken over as the top scorer with 15 goals. Johnny Williams moved across South London in January, swapping Palace for Charlton, and this role at the tip of the diamond really suits him. Naby Sarr is now showing the kind of form that Charlton expected when they signed him from Sporting Lisbon 3.5 years ago. Well, Portsmouth put 5 past Bradford City last week, so why change it? Nathan Thompson has shelved contract talks till the summer when his deal is up, but he's important to this team, so Kenny Jackett sticks with him. Thompson lost 4 teeth last week after colliding with Matt Clark. Clark, like Thompson, is fit to start. Ben Close has suddenly found his scoring boots with 4 goals in his last 6 games, while that trident behind Ollie Hawkins is firing again, but there's still no Omar Bogle. Well, Charlton Athletic fell in the playoffs last year, but they've recovered and are on the charge again. Portsmouth have broken their own fall just in the nick of time. A League One game with a huge feel about it. It's Charlton against Portsmouth next. We're live at the Valley. It's Charlton against Portsmouth. The latest Charlton player to be attracting attention elsewhere is this young man, Joe Aribo. Don, how impressed have you been by the way they develop players here?
Well, you're talking about Lee Bowyer. He knows full well. He came through the ranks here, didn't he? The likes of Aribo, Lookman, and now there's another one off the conveyor belt. This lad has been exceptional this season. Very, very dynamic in that midfield area, and he could be vital here this evening.
Now, Portsmouth had a bit of a problem when Ben Thompson went back to Millwall in January, but how important has Ben Close's influence been of late?
Well, you see there, 4 goals in the previous 5 league games, and they all came at a time where the forward players of Portsmouth were struggling, so he has been absolutely key for Portsmouth in recent games particularly.
Well, it's been a decent day for these two so far with results elsewhere. Portsmouth still have eyes on the top 2, envious eyes on the top 2, because they were in the top 2 for 4 months of this season. For Charlton, with all that's going on off the pitch, they are still mounting a fight for promotion, just like they did last season. They just fell short in the last campaign, but they would take a playoff place right now this season. Portsmouth get it underway, backed by 3,000 fans who've made the journey from the south coast to South London.
I would say, given how well the top 3 are going, all of them on really long unbeaten runs, I think this is almost a must-win game for Portsmouth in terms of automatic promotion. I think they're a shoo-in for a playoff spot, but they want more than that. They've been top of the league for so very long. Pleased with the response last week, home against Bradford City, but he'll know they're going to have to finish the season with a terrific run if they want to gate crash that top 2.
Off the head of Naby Sarr. There's Gareth Evans. Fired in towards Close. Here goes Nathan Thompson. Gets it back from Jamal Lowe. Those two have formed a really good partnership down the right-hand side for Portsmouth. Jamal Lowe delivering a dangerous cross and moved away by Naby Sarr. An important touch from the Charlton Athletic centre-back.
Absolutely vital. Really difficult ball for him to deal with. Did extremely well.
Portsmouth looking to make a quick start here. They are going to go looking for Charlton. Kenny Jackett is demanding wins from his team now to keep the pressure on those above.
Well, Charlton notorious for fast starts, but it has been Portsmouth that have got on the front foot for the off. Brilliant interplay. Ends in Low, putting in a wonderful ball, but Naby Sarr deals with it well.
Thompson again. Vetekele, nicely done to find his strike partner, Lyle Taylor. Taylor spotting the run of Vetekele. Forces Charlton's first corner of the evening.
Well, I think we're only 2 minutes in and we've already seen the athleticism that both of these teams possess. They really do. Know what a threat Charlton Athletic are from set pieces. One of the very, very best in the country.
Well, swung into a dangerous area, but almost 50% of Charlton's goals this season have come from set pieces. That's how prolific they've been. That's Ben Close.
Well, you saw why with that delivery. What a wonderful corner into a dangerous area, whipped in with pace. Very hard to defend.
Close thought he was impeded, but the referee, who this evening is Roger East, is having none of it. Ball moved on by Hawkins. Here's Jamal Lowe. It's low. Seen off for now.
Good defending by Patrick Bauer. Alarm bells would have been ringing as this ball was helped on. First by Thompson, then by Hawkins. Good position he takes up, Jamal Lowe.
Thompson's cross. Hawkins was lurking. He is a danger. The ball was swung inside the penalty area is Ollie Hawkins. See the bandaged head there of Matt Clark, a legacy of his collision with Nathan Thompson last week when Thompson lost 4 teeth and one of those was embedded in the forehead of Matt Clark.
Ouch.
Apologies if you're eating your dinner. Here is Nathan Thompson. Low on the outside.
Well, it's been a terrific start, hasn't it, really? Lively, energetic. Portsmouth possibly more on the front foot, and you would just wonder whether Lee Bowyer has set his team up to play on the counter-attack here this evening. He knows that Portsmouth are a team that like to dominate possession. Maybe he sees that's the way of them getting a positive result here.
Lee Bowyer looking down on the valley. His team are looking up. He was sent off for 2 quick-fire yellows at Wimbledon a few weeks ago, so he's serving the second of that 3-game touchline ban. He said the decision in the game was a joke when he was shown the first yellow. He said to the referee, Chris Kavanagh, well done. Out came the second yellow.
Well, you can make your own mind up, can't you? I think it's one of those where you had to be there to judge.
But like most managers, when they're forced to take a higher view, you enjoy seeing the game from that angle. He's in radio contact with Johnny Jackson, who is on the touchline for Charlton. This is Lyle Taylor, just behind Johnny Williams. Aribo tried to step in, but it was dealt with by the impressive Ben Close, who's been at the peak of his powers in the last few weeks. Christian Bielik. Bauer invited forward from centre-back. Dijksteel runs into trouble in the form of Curtis. There's Gareth Evans. Into the free kick. And he's got it.
Well, he was slightly off balance in the first place, and gentle nudge, isn't it? There's not an awful lot in that, I have to say. I do think Gareth Evans was lucky to get awarded that free kick.
And it is Gareth Evans who is on set-piece duty here. Hawkins and Clark amongst those waiting, as is Tom Naylor, who has a very good leap on him. Curtis thought he was blocked off in the header forwards by Clark. He's dealt with by Phillips.
Yeah, really well worked and well thought out, and almost an ideal free kick to take against a defence that is marking zonally.
Betekele standing his ground. The referee has played the advantage. Johnny Williams. Williams was looking for Taylor. Naby Sarr making life awkward for Hawkins. Bielik knew what was coming. He threads a nice ball through to Dijksteel. 3 in the middle for Charlton. Betekele misses it. Burgess doesn't.
I'll tell you what an open, exciting 8 minutes we've had. Two very, very good teams at this level, playing good football, fast, getting the ball out wide, and the balls are being fizzed into dangerous areas by both of them.
Well, as we always say, when you have this diamond system, the fullbacks are absolutely key to provide the width, and that's what Anthony Dijksteel did to great effect there for Charlton. Away by Bauer. There's Purrington, who won promotion with Rotherham last season, out of this league. Bielik. Aribo. There goes Bauer. Now Dijksteel. Josh Cullen. Aribo. Cullen just had to adjust. Lost his balance and then committed a foul.
Pause for breath. Fast, been frenetic. I have to say, what a wonderful job Lee Bowyer has done in his tenure. Overlooked a lot, really. People talking about how well Steven Gerrard has done and Frank Lampard and the like. He has been exceptional in control in very difficult circumstances. Remember, fans and owners at loggerheads, never ever easy.
Taylor in combat with Thompson, it will be a goal kick. But you're right, Lee Bowyer has had his budget cut this season. Saw his leading scorer Colin Grant sold to Huddersfield in January, and he felt like he had to go back to square one after that. And he's had to deal with the civil war off the pitch. He has gone under the radar here with the work he's done. And he's done it surrounded by chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. Only makes what he's done so far all the more better, all the more impressive.
Bielik. There's Taylor, the first protest songs of the evening start from the Charlton fans. Against the owner, Roland Duchâtelet, who does want to sell the club. He is looking for a buyer, a price has been agreed. But we've heard that for quite some time. Still, no deal has been done. He actually asked the EFL to buy the club. Surprisingly, the EFL said no. Conflict of interest.
Indeed.
But he's willing to give the club away for free, basically, Roland Duchâtelet. The price will come with the land. The ground here and the training ground, Sparrow Lane, 33 acres, 12 training pitches, about 20 minutes from central London. That's where the price comes. And we hear he wants to get around about £35 million for it. On the pitch, here's Johnny Williams, stopped in his tracks.
Oh, what a situation that was for Charlton Athletic, unable to take advantage of it. Had a man over, and if there's one player you would have wanted running with the ball in that situation, it's Johnny Williams, but his touch deserted him. The opportunity was gone.
Patrick Bauer. There's Vetekele. Dijksteel in an advanced position again, but too much on the ball from Cullen.
Well, a wonderful break. They win the ball back and they spring really quickly. And once this ball arrives at Johnny Williams' feet here, he's got a man either side and he just gets his touch all wrong. And you do have to give Matt Clark credit. Gets across and gets a very important foot in. Now, that is a good situation.
That is why he is so highly rated, is Matt Clark. No foul by Aribo, despite the Portsmouth protests. The clever Johnny Williams on the move again. Taylor holds his run and gets it now. And runs into trouble. Could be in a bit of trouble here as he slipped.
Oh, I think there was a coming together. I have to say, I do not like it when a player goes down like that. There's no reason for him to stay down. He must be really hurt. It's this touch here inside. He's desperate to get it, to have a shot, and then he hangs a leg out. And I just wonder contact there, whether it's twisted an ankle or a knee. There's a definite coming together there, look, and it opens his foot up, so usually affects the knee, that kind of impact.
Well, as you can see, he's back on his feet now, and the last thing Charlton would need would be another injury. They've had their injury problems, as have most teams this season, but more so than the average team, Charlton. Taylor moving for this.
I have to say, nearly 15 minutes in, what a wonderful advert for League One football this has been. The only thing missing really is neither goalkeeper has truly been tested as yet.
Look, another good challenge this time from Burgess.
Well, he is adamant that the ball came off a Charlton player. It should have been a goal kick. A difficult one for the officials to spot. They have brushed. Hard to see.
Well, the goalkeeper was pinned in on his line there, McGillivray. He's screaming towards the referee now as Charlton pick up the pieces again. It's Bielik. Close, sticking to it. Almost got out of a tight spot there, Bielik, and he's still determined to pen Pompey in. Aribo. Another Charlton corner.
Well, they're mounting up, aren't they, the Charlton Athletic corners? We've already highlighted the record from them. How's that? Impressive.
11 from corners, 23 in total from set pieces. McGillivray again just trying to state his case to referee Roger East. Smiles at the moment. Battle will commence shortly between those two. Saru tried to get to it. There's Jamal Lowe. Clark protecting the ball from Johnny Williams.
Well, they are clever, Charlton. You can see why they score so many. Look at the way Lyle Taylor is pinning Thompson and the goalkeeper. That corner was always going to the far post, knowing that the goalkeeper is pinned in. It's really clever from Charlton.
Well, that's exactly what happened from the corner from this side.
The beauty of it is Lyle Taylor doesn't have to stand on the goalkeeper. He has to stand behind him, and he knows that Nathan Thompson is going to be there, and it's kind of a double shield that when you kick the ball to the far post, knowing the goalkeeper cannot go and get it. Very clever.
Well, it was very much a physical contest when these two met back in December, a game which Charlton won. Lee Bowyer has told his players to be up for the physical fight and mix it again tonight. Win that battle, then play your football. Aribo, seen off by Naylor. He presents the ball straight to Bielik. Now Cullen. Dijksteel. Josh Cullen, Betekele. There's Taylor. Now Aribo. Porrington. Nathan Thompson trying to stand his ground, but Porrington has moved away from him. And Thompson was backed up by Burgess.
Well, they've turned the pattern of this game on its head, haven't they, Charlton? I was suggesting they may have been trying to play on the counter-attack, but they've certainly pinned Portsmouth back in their own half this last 5 minutes or so. All of a sudden it's Oliver Hawkins that looks a little isolated.
Torrington with the cross, dealt with by Clark. Creating chances has not been a problem for Charlton this season. It's been that cutting edge, taking those opportunities. They created a boatload of chances in the draw against Doncaster last week at the start of the game. Ended up holding on to take a point in the end at Doncaster.
Reflection, not a bad point, is it really, away at Aribo, given how results have gone today.
Johnny Williams gets it back from Porrington. Aribo, Williams again. Johnny Williams into a great area, it's blocked by his own man. Cullen kept out.
Wow. You can't believe what's just happened, can you, really?
It was Vetakele with the goal line clearance to keep out a shot from his own man.
Oh, you were just saying how many chances they created last week and didn't take. I bet they didn't experience anything like that. That is quite remarkable.
12th man for Portsmouth. There's Taylor. It's a great move from Charlton, great approach play involving this man, Johnny Williams, who finds Taylor, who tries to link up with Williams again.
Yeah, they are totally pinned in, Kenny Jackett's Portsmouth. They've got to find a way of getting hold of the ball. They are very capable and they have possession.
Naby Sarr urged to shoot when the ball's on his left foot after scoring a free kick a couple of weeks ago. There's Dijksteel. Unorthodox. Cullen again. There's Vetakele again.
Well, they've got to stand strong here, Portsmouth. He's still, you look at his face and his body language, he still can't believe what just happened. Vetakele couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely nothing he could do about it. Charlton on top, and now a bit of respite for Portsmouth.
Well, it's brilliant play from Johnny Williams. Lovely little 1-2, give and go with the saw out. In behind, drills it across, and you think the net is going to bulge. And neither Cullen or Vetakele can believe it. Just wonder, really, Josh Cullen probably should have been avoiding Vetakele.
Denied his second ever senior goal there, Josh Cullen, but here come Charlton again. Vetakele leaves it that time. But Vetakele, Johnny Williams, Lyle Taylor are causing Portsmouth problems here.
Yeah, this game has turned on its head. I'd say Portsmouth started the game the best, but Josh Cullen here, can he pass the ball into a corner, either corner of the net? He's got the goal at his mercy. Look at the reaction.
Another corner, McGillivray again was penned in on his goal line, and he's got the free kick.
He's not happy, is he, with this tactic, but I don't think there are any goalkeepers out there that like this. Does Lyle Taylor? Well, he's got a hold of his arm, and that's the thing. Tried to conceal it, but Lyle Taylor, hold of the goalkeeper's left arm, can't get away with that. It's a good spot by the officials.
Yeah, that one is overstepping the mark.
Slightly. Not easy to spot either. It was on the blind side. Done very well there, Roger East.
Charlton rumbling forward again. Vetakele.
Got to keep this ball, Portsmouth. They are struggling to do so.
Jamal Lowe, they were swarming around him. Burgess hunted down by Vetakele, who commits the foul.
Well, it's 10 minutes. It has been all Charlton Athletic. And somehow, Portsmouth have got through it and survived, more by luck than judgment, I dare suggest.
That's a sloppy ball straight to Aribo. Evans trying to pounce. Aribo stood his ground. There's Cullen. been a bit more of a solid look about Portsmouth in the last couple of weeks. Kenny Jackett was demanding that they returned to that defensive solidity, which they just appeared to lose as they went through that winless run of no wins in 8 games.
Well, the DNA of any Kenny Jackett team is that they are notoriously well organised, hard-working and really hard to break down. I mean, they've only lost 6 games all season, so they are exactly that, but ridden their luck here so far this evening.
The key to their success in the first half of the season was picking a settled team, which of course was disrupted when the loan recalls came in January. And the new set of players came in on loan and on permanent deals. They just had to settle down again, and Kenny Jackett now is picking a settled team again.
It's been a difficult period of the season for them, haven't they? They've started shipping a lot more goals, particularly away from home. 13 goals shipped in the last 6 away games. Yet despite that, over the course of the season, they've got the best away record in the league, so they will believe that they can turn the tide, but they've had to really weather a serious storm here so far.
Taylor leaving his calling card with Clark. Portsmouth fans looking forward to Wembley.
Dare say that will be a huge crowd for the Checker Trade Trophy final.
It's coming up at the end of March against Sunderland.
I don't know what the record is, but I reckon it might be threatened.
Well, they've travelled in the numbers to southeast London this evening. 3,100 Portsmouth fans in attendance here at the Valley. A club which was saved by the fans. Let's not forget, this club was close to going out of the Football League and close to going out of business.
They're close to getting back up into the Championship. It's a dream that everyone shares. With Portsmouth.
The ball was gunned at Bielik by Naby Sarr, and he did well to bring it under his spell. Aribo. Bielik. Patrick Bauer venturing forward. He fancied it. Almost flattened Naylor.
It's not the first time we've seen Patrick Bauer step out of defence and have the confidence or even audacity on occasion to strike from range. It's the consolation of a corner for his team.
And McGillivray's best pal, Lyle Taylor, is right on his toes again. It was Aribo who got to it, but couldn't keep it down.
It's a variation of that ball to the far post. This time it's into an area. He's totally free, isn't he? Really will be disappointed with the end effort. Just a little bit of movement. It's not tracked at all. It's not like he was any Portsmouth players were really blocked off there. He'll know he should be doing better.
Jamalo stopped by Naby Sarr. This is Dagsteel. I spoke to Kenny Jackett yesterday, and interestingly he was talking about those behind Portsmouth and making sure that they stay in the top 6. He was talking about Blackpool and Coventry before their defeats last night and today. But he's looking over his shoulder, just making sure that Portsmouth don't throw this opportunity away of being in the top 6, which was the aim at the start of the season, to be in the playoff positions.
I would be absolutely shocked if Portsmouth are not in the top 6 come the end of this season. I really would.
Burgess. Bielik in the way. Playing at the base of the Charlton diamond. There's Cullen. Aribo. Pullington has tiptoed forward. There's Cullen again. There's Purrington there as an option, and he's forced it through to Purrington, who's done well to move away from Lowe, but was stopped in his tracks by Burgess.
Yeah, he left Lyle Taylor disappointed because his striker was free in the penalty area there, unavailable.
Purrington away from Thompson. Lyle Taylor. Taylor trying to find the top corner, but finds the Portsmouth fans instead.
Yeah, that's a man with the blinkers on, isn't it? It's a striker desperate to get on the score sheet. There were options to his right there. Johnny Williams for one.
I feel he has a bit of a point to prove here as well this evening. It was Kenny Jackett who released him from Millwall.
Well, he's doing okay.
Hawkins had 3 Charlton players to deal with. Aribo.
He's barely touched the ball, has he? Oliver Hawkins, I have to say, that's how dominant Charlton have been after the opening, maybe 10 minutes or so.
Thompson moves away from Vetekele. That's Brown looking for Curtis, who's yet to really get into the game. Thompson.
Well, for the first time in the game, really, just a little quiet period. Which begs the question, have Portsmouth weathered the storm, the onslaught?
Taylor putting himself around again, and Aribo picks up the baton. Trying to shake off Clark. Lyle Taylor, Cullen was at the far post, dealt with by Ben Close. Curtis. Not sure second time he took no chances. He saw trying to bring the ball under his spell. He presented it to Hawkins, and that's Naylor. This is Bielik on the retreat for Charlton. And the throw-in goes the way of Charlton.
Another difficult one, wasn't it, really, for Roger East to see. He doesn't have this view that we have. It's about the right decision. He's done well again, the referee.
Refereed in all 4 divisions this season, Roger East. This is another Charlton Academy product in Dylan Phillips. Johnny Williams, who's created the best chance in this game so far. He's clipped that ball into Vetekele, and it was Cullen who came onto it. Those two combining again.
Yeah, it's a good ball in. Does really well to Kelly. Bit of movement from Cullen. Desperate to atone for that earlier miss, isn't he? Josh Cullen doesn't get the type of strike that he's looking for, really. It's a bit of a scuffer, and it's well wide.
Close. Now Jamal Lowe. There's Thompson. Ben Close again. Gareth Evans. This is Thompson. Hawkins waiting in the middle, as is Jamal Lowe. Appeals to handball, and it's given.
It's an easy decision. Bounces up clearly onto his arm. Touch into the ground and up, leans into it as well. Just working on scraps a little bit, that front four, aren't they? Started off very well.
They have looked re-energised in the last couple of weeks. That front four. Jamal Lowe came on in the second half against Bury in the Checkatrade Trophy semi-final around about 11 days ago and changed the game. Gareth Evans played a big part too, and Curtis scored a picture book goal. But when Portsmouth have been at the peak of their powers this season, it's been that Trident who have been creating and scoring, and have played a big part in Portsmouth's success in the first half of the season.
It was noticeable, wasn't it, prior to last week's victory over Bradford City, that 8-game winless run before that. They'd only scored 1 goal between the 3 of them. The previous 8 games they'd scored 9, so they really did go off the boil a little bit.
Well, that's why Kenny Jackett took Jamal Lowe out of the team and Gareth Evans for a little while, but they kept Ronan Curtis more often than not in the side. They believe his energy levels are still high, despite playing most of the calendar year of 2018 before he moved to Portsmouth. He was playing for Derry City.
Had so many games as well, haven't they? What's this, 49th? A lot of games, a lot of football. Really tests the depth of a squad, particularly at this level of football. You can see it's been hectic. 2019.
Commanding header from Bauer. There's Bielik. Now Clark, who is very comfortable on the ball. I knew that would happen.
Right on cue.
Yeah. There's Taylor. Taylor, he's gone for it again, and McGillivray gets down to it.
A little glance to the heavens again. When you decide that you're going to take something like that on, you really need to make a better fist of it than that. Frustrating for you, frustrating for your teammates.
Naylor. This is Lee Brown. Now Close.
It's better from Portsmouth. I know they're not going anywhere, but at least they're controlling the football a little bit better. Right on cue again. 1-1.
Should we get our coach? Well, one of the biggest derbies in English football is live on Sky Sports tomorrow. Birmingham City against Aston Villa, 11:30 on Sky Sports Football. At the moment, the city of Birmingham is claret and blue. Will Birmingham City change that tomorrow? Problem here for Christian Bielik.
Well, that is a problem, and I'll tell you for why. He has been outstanding in the opening 37 minutes of this game. He's been pulling all the strings. I think I spotted him holding his hamstring prior to that. If that is the case, it might be the end of his evening.
Well, he arrived at Arsenal as a midfielder from Legia Warsaw, Christian Bielik, but Arsene Wenger saw him as a future centre-back, which is where he has played in the last couple of years as well. But to bring him to the Valley, to get him here at Charlton, for him to wear that Charlton badge on his chest, was quite a coup for Charlton to acquire his services on loan.
Well, he has oozed class in the opening 37 minutes, 38 minutes of this game. I have to say I've been very, very impressed, but doesn't look good.
George Lapsey, the Charlton Athletic fan, has been sent to warm up. I think the bib is off. And it looks like the change will be made.
They are the kind of injuries that you really cannot risk. I would say if it's a minor strain, you can get away with a week to 10 days, but if you stay on and make it worse, you could be looking at 6 weeks, which Charlton really can't afford, I don't think.
Well, he's going to come back on, Christian Bielik, to see if he can stay on. He's back on the pitch now. So the bib is back on for George Lapsley.
Well, the test will be the first sprint. Keep our eyes peeled on that.
Brown trying to pick out Hawkins, who wins the aerial duel. There is Bielik, showing that he has no ill effects. That's one way of proving your fitness, I guess, with a pirouette. I know you're waiting for the sprint, though, Don.
I'm waiting for the sprint. That's not a test of a hamstring, trust me.
I do love a good shake of the Don Goodman head.
You see it quite a bit, don't you?
I do. There's Bielik again, who this time pings the ball out to Purrington. Still a shake of the head from Don Goodman. There's Cullen, who's had the best chance in this game so far. He's played a lovely ball into Aribo, who spun beautifully! That is class! A player who's attracting attention from clubs higher than League One, and that is why.
Well, that's brilliant all round. Kenny Jackett won't be happy. He's a coach who prides himself on defensive solidity, but for a player to get that amount of time to bring the ball down in your own penalty area, literally, what, 12 yards out? It's not good defending. Then let's admire the skill. Let's admire the first touch. Let's admire the turn, and let's admire the strike, because we are witnessing a very talented young man at work. And he's put Charlton ahead, and you have to say, on the balance of play, fully deserved.
Well, as we know, scouts from all over the world are coming to South London after the success of the likes of Jadon Sancho and Reece Nelson. Joe Aribo was playing Verstaines under Marcus Gale, who recommended him to Jason Newell, who's part of the academy here. So Charlton signed him. Been here for 3 years now. And he's just scored a really classy goal.
Excellent, it really was. He had a lot of work to do, didn't he, when he received the ball? He knew exactly what was in his mind.
Bielik. There's Johnny Williams. Such a good ball carrier, Johnny Williams. Could be a very shrewd signing by Lee Bowyer. It was a big decision for Johnny Williams to say goodbye to Crystal Palace, albeit he didn't feel he got a chance at Selhurst Park. But he had a long association in that part of South London. Now he's in this part of South London and looking for promotion with Charlton. There's Aribo. Nicely done again. It's Purrington. Aribo's there for the pullback. Aribo with the cross. Here he is again.
I do feel Portsmouth have to get in at half-time, just the one goal behind. That has to be the ambition at the moment, the way this is shaping up here.
Naylor, thumped away by Jamal Lowe. Hawkins will try and put the squeeze on Bauer.
Well, been really at it. Charlton, they have dominated this game, and I think that graphic there highlights it. This one probably doesn't highlight how strong that domination has been, really, after the first 10 minutes.
Gareth Evans, a Portsmouth corner. Portsmouth, who were 5 points clear at the top of League One on New Year's Day, looking to respond here. Now trying to keep a watch on clock. It's gone beyond those two, and Curtis, that's a thumping header. Now that's how to respond.
Well, what did I say? Portsmouth will be looking to go in 1-0 down, or just the 1 goal down. Take it all back. How wrong can you be? I mean, this is as simple as it gets. It's a deep corner to the far post, and it's a player that wants it, that wants to go and attack it. And the contact that he gets on this, Ronan Curtis, is, well, it's unstoppable. It's like a bullet in the back of the net, and young Dylan Phillips barely moves. Watch the goalkeeper, barely moves. That is how powerful a header that is. It's excellent, and it's game on again when perhaps we least expected it.
Well, he's an Irish international, but he was born in London. Back in the English capital, he's levelled up, and he's been quite a find by Kenny Jackett. He did come through as a number 9, but when he was playing for Derry City, he was playing out on the wing because they just wanted to get him into the team.
Well, mental test for Charlton Athletic, isn't it? How the Portsmouth response. Bad time to concede a goal, isn't it? Just before half-time.
In those situations when the manager is up in the stand, I always feel sorry for the analysts who have to sit either side of the manager because they're not used to having him in the vicinity.
Yeah.
Off the head of Cullen. Here's Naylor.
I think the message from Lee Bowie will be just do the same. You cannot afford to get disappointed or despondent. They have been excellent.
Final 20 seconds of additional time. This is Vetekele. Well, Charlton have been the dominant force in the first 45 minutes, but they've been unable to shake off Portsmouth. The moment of class from Joe Aribo put Charlton in front. But then from Portsmouth's first corner of the game, Ronan Curtis, who's been brought up as a striker, has an eye for a goal. His thumping header meant sure that those fans were celebrating. And at the break at the Valley, it's 1-1.
Welcome back. 1-1 at half-time between Charlton and Portsmouth at the Valley. Former Pompey midfielder Michael Brown is alongside us for this one. And did we see the first goal for Charlton as a result of their first-half dominance? A well-taken goal by Joe Aribo. It
was a very well-taken goal. I think you just look at the possession. They were knocking on the door. They had some good opportunities, and you felt it was all Charlton. And obviously the ball goes in. I think it was Burgess doesn't get tight with him. It's a great finish in the end to turn and get his shot away.
Well, so how much do you attribute to the striker doing such a good job, but also from a defensive point of view for Pompey? Surely Aribo can't get a shot off here coming away from goal.
He can't. If you look for me, the defence is very, very deep in the first place. If they got higher up on the edge of the area, maybe on the penalty spot, they could have got tighter. But once he takes that touch, Burgess has to get really, really tight, and he doesn't. He allows him to get on the half turn, and then obviously leaves it open for that shot through his legs. Obviously a little bit of fortune to go through his legs into the far corner, but if they're higher up in the first place and a little bit tighter, I'm sure that's what Kenny Jackett will be looking at.
We talked about Rona Curtis before kick-off, and it was a thumping header which brought Pompey back level, wasn't it?
It was a brilliant header, you know, from the set piece. We talked about Charlton's dominance from set pieces, and it was just, he wanted it on the back post. It's another goal to add to his collection, so he's certainly you know, impressing the Portsmouth supporters, and people are watching him. It's a great header. They had no shots on target before that. It was a real poor half from Portsmouth. But they'll be delighted to go in at 1-1.
So it is 1-1 at half-time, but Josh Cullen had an early chance. And when your luck's not in, no goal for 2.5 years, and it's his own striker, Igor Vetterkelly, that stops the ball from going over the line.
Oh, it's incredible. It's a great move. And we were just on about Johnny Williams not having that assist, and we're there out of our feet saying, there you go, he's got the assist, and how it doesn't go in is very unfortunate. And you're just seeing it here now. Good connection. He's got in a good area. You see, you know, that's what you want from him. Not scoring for 2.5 years, but that's what he can bring, getting it there. But he even pushes him into the net as well, which is it's incredible that it
just to reaffirm his frustration.
Very, very frustrated. But, I mean, you just can't anywhere else and it's in. It was a great move, great 1-2 from Johnny Williams.
OK, so 1-1 at half-time at the Valley between Charlton and Portsmouth. Only one side winning in the top half of League One this afternoon. A big chance for both teams to consolidate in the top 6. Second half is coming next. Fresh off the back of International Women's Day, there's a whole host of women's sport coming up for you in the coming months on Sky Sports. A win for England's women next Saturday against Scotland would secure a Six Nations Grand Slam. Red Roses fresh from a 55-0 hammering of Italy earlier on today. The WNBA starts on the 24th of May. Australia women begin their defence of the Ashes on these shores. That begins the 2nd of July on Sky Sports Cricket. The Netball World Cup is live from Liverpool. That begins on the 12th of July, also on Sky Sports. And a great summer of golf fresh for you on Sky Sports, including all 5 women's majors and the Solheim Cup in September. Well, Joe Aribo's 6th league goal of the season on Portsmouth put the home side ahead here at the Valley. But it was a thumping Ronan Curtis header which brought Portsmouth back level going into half-time. Well, Portsmouth fans have seen their side win 15 away games in all competitions this season, the most of any side in domestic football in the top 4 divisions. Happy hunting then for Pompey on the road. The second half is coming next.
Football Index is reinventing football betting. You can buy and sell the world's top players. Their value may go up and down, but it's not over with the final whistle like a regular bet. You get to stay in the game. Cash out when you want. It's your call. You're in control. Football Index, reinventing football betting.
Start building your portfolio today at footballindex.co.uk or download the app now.
Second half about to kick off here at the Valley. Currently 1-1 between Charlton and Portsmouth. Michael Brown, former Pompey midfielder, is alongside me in the studio. Yes, they're back in the game with the equaliser just before half-time, but they need to see more from Evans, Curtis, Jamal Lowe, Ollie Hawkins going forward for Pompey.
Exactly those 4 names you've mentioned. They've got to get them on the ball. You'd have expected Jamal Lowe down that right-hand side to get some crosses in, some deliveries. Obviously, you've got to get Hawkins in the game. If not, will he make that substitution and bring on Vaughan?
Well, noises coming out of the Charlton dressing room. They're going to have to make a change. Christian Billick is coming off. Big blow, because if he was such a dominant force in the midfield in the first half.
He was a dominant force. You've seen there with his hamstring when he pulled it. But actually he came back on and he did a pirouette, as they mentioned in the commentary, and then played a long pass. So I thought he would have been OK, but they probably don't want to risk that with him being a key player.
OK, with news of that change, your commentary team, Don Goodman and Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, David. That pirouette didn't disguise anything in the end, so Christian Bielik is off, and it will be Ben Reeves who will be coming on. It was going to be George Lapsley at the time, but Ben Reeves is about to come on. Now, that could mean Josh Cullen moving to the base of the diamond, which is where he has played when Bielik was suspended. So Ben Reeves into the action. A final few words there from Johnny Jackson, and on comes Reeves, and he goes to what will be the right of the diamond. So Josh Cullen has indeed gone to the base. So that's the switch that Charlton have made at half-time. The long ball forward looking for Lyle Taylor.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it, to see how this second half starts. That equaliser at the end of the first half must have given Portsmouth a lift. They're certainly going to have to overall do much more in the second half if they want to go away here with 3 points. I think the message from Lee Bowie will be same again, lads. You didn't do much wrong, really.
Forward by Nabisar to Vetekele. There's Thompson.
So he didn't have a pass there, Nathan Thompson, and that's because Oliver Hawkins is a little bit isolated. A couple of defenders around him, it would have taken an exceptional ball. That's where I think when the fullbacks get the ball, Portsmouth need to offer more options for them.
Thumped away by Purrington. That's Burgess. Cullen. Now Johnny Williams. There's Vetekele. Behind Ben Reeves, but Taylor will pick up the baton for Charlton. And the back heel doesn't come off.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. It was a bit over-elaborate.
Aribo snapping in to win it back for Charlton, and it's good feet from Aribo. Here's Reeves. Now Dijksteel. Taylor. Lyle Taylor again, seen off though by Burgess. Dijksteel running into Curtis. It's gone straight to Aribo. Ben Reeves. Aribo in his way.
Seen that before, haven't we?
Here comes Nabisar. Purrington. Well, he wasn't expecting to enjoy management, Lee Bowyer, as much as he has done. He thought there'd be a lot of work, a lot of travelling for no reward, and he wouldn't get the same buzz as he did when he was playing. The feeling is different. He does get that buzz, and it comes from the reward of watching his players improve. Didn't think management would be as rewarding as it has been.
He's the reluctant manager, wasn't he?
Portsmouth on the move, and Curtis again was waiting in the middle. There's Gareth Evans. Now Jamal Lowe. Lowe! Flag has gone up. Curtis was in the middle, looking to apply the finishing touch, and the goal ruled out.
Yeah, my first instinct was that he was stood in an offside position as Jamal Lowe struck this. It's good from the defenders. Look how quickly they get out. I have to say, he's well offside. It's really good defending. Let's give Charlton credit for that.
McDonough, the man with the flag, denying Portsmouth. There again, albeit he was offside, you saw the goal scorer's instinct that Ronan Curtis has. There's Purrington. Now Ben Reeves. This time it was blocked by a Portsmouth player.
Reminiscent to the first half, isn't it? Just pushing Portsmouth back, prompting and probing.
Taylor and Johnny Williams running into each other. Forward by Nabisar. Aribo. Reeves lurking here. Ben Reeves. Taylor reacting. He's become the leading man for his local club. Born in Charlton territory, he's making his mark on his home turf.
Well, just prior to this, I think Kenny Jackett had the alarm bells ringing. He had a substitution prepared after 5 minutes of the second half because the theme has continued. It's been Charlton dominance. Kenny Jackett wanted to try and disrupt it. Has it come too late? They get a bit of a break there as it falls back to Ben Reeves, but you have to credit Reeves for his presence of mind, his awareness to know where his strike partner was. And Lyle Taylor, he was never going to miss from there, was he? Prods it into the empty net, and Charlton back in front.
First goal in 5 games, his 16th of the season. A player that was close to joining Sunderland in the summer. He was up at the Stadium of Light holding talks with Sunderland, but the pull of playing for his local club, Charlton Athletic, was too much to resist.
You have to say, right from the off in the second half, Lee Bowyer's men got themselves on the front foot.
And a yellow card there for Ollie Hawkins.
Barely touched the ball, has he? I don't think he's been yellow carded for that. I think it must have been something he said afterwards, surely. Yeah.
Portsmouth having to climb the mountain again here at the Valley. That's Thompson. Cullen snapping in again for Charlton. Taylor giving chase. McGillivray gets to it. Well, he was plotting a change, Kenny Jackett, just before Charlton made it 2. It was going to be Dion Donoghue coming on for Gareth Evans. That was the change that Kenny Jackett had in mind just before this man made it 2. And Lyle Taylor digging his heels in. He's picked out Reeves. Thompson with a challenge.
Yeah, again, brilliant refereeing from Roger East. He is perfectly positioned to see that Nathan Thompson wins the ball. It's brilliant again. The front 2 really are causing Portsmouth problems. You can see clear foot on the ball there from Thompson. But that work there, not giving the defenders a moment's peace. Those Charlton strikers.
When Lee Bowyer took over as caretaker manager a year ago, he did change it to a front 2 here at Charlton. He's always wanted to play with a front 2, and that's the way he's continued, despite losing Colin Grant and his 14 goals to Huddersfield in January. Took Grant and Lyle Taylor a little bit of time to strike up the partnership. But even with Grant's departure, Lee Bowyer wanted to stick with 2 up top, and it's Vetekele who's providing the support to Lyle Taylor here this evening. Aribo with his box of tricks again.
There's a confidence and a swagger, isn't there, about Charlton at the moment. You ask the question, what can Kenny Jackett do to change this here? And the flow of the game, it needs changing. Otherwise his team are going to go away empty-handed here.
Close. Aribo driving forward again from midfield. He's got 3 after him. Aribo manages to win the corner. Such a lovely mover with the ball, Joe Aribo.
Spoke about that dynamism prior to the kickoff, and there is the perfect example of it. He's carried the ball fully, 40 yards up the pitch, maybe more, and won his team a corner.
Naby Sarr trying to shake off Clark. And the goalkeeper was struggling again. He wants the free kick. The referee not interested. It's been that kind of evening for McGillivray.
It has.
Jamal Lowe, here's Tom Naylor. Now Brown. Ronan Curtis. Stopped in his tracks by Dagsteel. Curtis has done well, and he's found Jamal Lowe. Jamal Lowe. Bauer in the way for Charlton. Here come Portsmouth again. Curtis with the cross. Again, it's Bauer who's perfectly placed.
Well, that last first real response in the second half from Portsmouth.
It's great atmosphere inside the Valley. Both sets of fans singing their hearts out here. League One game which has a big feel about it. 5th against 4th. As it stands, if it stays this way, Charlton will be 2 points behind Portsmouth. Evans drives that ball in. And fighting ball too. Hawkins was lurking with intent.
What a wonderful ball that is from Gareth Evans. He fizzes this across. It's, again, just at the front post there. I think Naby Sarr may just get a little flick on that. Oliver Hawkins off.
Well, Johnny Williams has just got back to his feet, but his game is over. Tariq Fosu is ready to come on for Johnny Williams, which will be a blow for Charlton, because this man has been excellent at the tip of the diamond, picking up pockets, driving forward. He can see things that others can't at times.
Yeah, he's just a wonderful talent whose career has been blighted by injuries. Such a shame for him and for those Charlton Athletic supporters.
So on comes Tariq Fosu, who was excellent last season. And Charlton's drive to the playoffs not quite hit those standards this season yet. But he has a chance to impress here. Curtis trying to catch out Phillips.
Well, I think those screams and shouts from Dylan Phillips are at his defenders, because they've allowed that shot to come in very easily. Goalkeeper has to be on his guard here, and he does well.
Evans with the corner. Benclose survives. Well, I thought he had the handball appeals, but he hasn't. He claimed shoulder.
Yeah.
Referee says free kick. James Vaughan and Dion Donoghue are about to come on for Portsmouth as they try to get control of this game.
Well, the fact is they're still very much in it, because it's only a 1-goal deficit, but it's more the flow of the game, it's more the area of the pitch that this game is being played in the majority of the time. Portsmouth so very good in possession normally, haven't really been able to dominate the ball. I think there's only Barnsley normally, isn't there, that average more possession than Portsmouth, but we haven't seen that tonight.
Give the ball away again. There's Fosu. Time for the Portsmouth double change. It's the end of the evening for Ollie Hawkins. He's replaced by James Vaughan. 6th appearance for Portsmouth. They've all been as a substitute since he arrived from Wigan. And Ben Close is off as well. And on comes Dion Donoghue. And that maybe tells you just how well Charlton have controlled the midfield area, because Ben Close has been superb in the last few weeks, but he's been unable really to influence this game this evening.
Yeah, it does tell you everything you need to know, really. Charlton have totally dominated that midfield area, which is why Portsmouth haven't been able to get those 4 forwards involved in this game very much.
Porrington off the head of Burgess. That's Cullen. Sarr gliding away from Naylor. There's Aribo.
There's that confidence oozing through the veins of Charlton Athletics players, as illustrated by Naby Sarr, centre half, demonstrating his skills.
At the near post is Sarr. Gone beyond him and looks away by Curtis, but there was a nudge in there which presents Portsmouth with a free kick. In fact, it may well have been Taylor having hold of McGillivray again by the gesture of Roger East.
Well, he needs to be careful, actually, Lyle Taylor. I think he's one of the players one booking away from a suspension, isn't he? Cut-off point fast approaching.
Yeah, 2-game ban. He's potentially facing Lyle Taylor. Just has to keep out of trouble for another couple of games. It's Fosu.
One-way traffic, isn't it? Lyle Taylor was at the far post. You have a look as this evolves and keep your eye on the bottom of your screen, and Lyle Taylor, if he gets his head up, Lyle Taylor is on there, but once he doesn't play it early, he's only got one thing in his mind, and that's to take the defender on and get the strike. But it's a lively introduction from him.
Aribo putting himself around again. Fosu. Aribo. There's Fosu again. Now Ben Reeves. Aribo, space to drive into again. Now Jamal Lowe trying to get Portsmouth up the pitch. There's Thompson. That's Donoghue. There's Clark.
Nowhere to go.
Well, they do have 2 centre-backs who are very comfortable in possession, Portsmouth, in Burgess and Clark. They didn't panic despite the Charlton press. Burgess again. Thompson. Jackets has 3 promotions on his CV as a manager. A couple of weeks ago he was thinking maybe 85 points would be the target to get Portsmouth into the top 2. Shrewsbury managed to get 87 points last season and missed out.
It's a really hot pace being set by the top 3. All 3 of them on really long unbeaten runs as well. It's going to take an almighty collapse from one of them and an almighty good run from Portsmouth to gate crash it, really. I said before, I felt that this was a must-win for Kenny Jackett's team if they wanted to gate crash that top two, I really did.
Portsmouth currently on 65 points. They're 8 points off second with a game in hand. Charlton on the move again. Here's Fosu. Now Lyle Taylor. Dyke-Steele's on the outside. Dyke-Steele's cross. Burgess there covering.
Oh, they're rampant. Pompey having to dig really deep here. Good defending by Burgess. Covers that near post. They really are hanging on by a thread.
Ben Reeves taking this corner. McGillivray looking to try and get some help on his goal line. Flips managing to pick out Aribo. Thompson. There's Fosu. Naby Sarr took a risk.
Well, he will buzz around James Vaughan, there's no doubt about that. He'll maybe apply a little bit more pressure on those Charlton central defenders.
Still looking to make an impact in the Portsmouth shirt, James Vaughan. Well, there's a face of the successful past here at Charlton. And he'll be hoping that he's watching a team which can win promotion again. Cullen leading the charge for Charlton.
A little bit of frustration there, spilling over. See there. Nowhere near the ball.
A booking for Christian Burgess. Watmore's season-ending injury has opened the door for Christian Burgess to come back into the Portsmouth team. Bad luck for Watmore again. There's Ben Reeves. Reeves has found Taylor, and that's Bauer! Good stop from McGillivray. Great approach play from Charlton.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant from Charlton. Ben Reeves picks the deep cross out, and the awareness of Lyle Taylor to pick out Bauer is excellent. It's a very decent strike. It's through bodies. McGillivray has to be sharp, and he is the keeper, and that keeps Portsmouth in this game.
Number 2 at Shrewsbury Town last season was Craig McGillivray. Early campaign with Shrewsbury last season. He's hoping to go one better in both the Checkatrade Trophy and in terms of promotion this time around.
Well, you can look at all the stats you want and it will show that Charlton Athletic are dominating this game, but the fact of the matter is they are still only one goal behind here.
Donahue beaten to the punch by Reeves. There's Tariq Fosu. Now Taylor. Fosu again. Aribo trying to lay the ball into the path of Reeves.
Once again, look how isolated the Portsmouth front man is. James Vaughan.
But as you said, Don, one thing James Vaughan will give you is work rate. He will make sure that the Charlton centre-backs know that he's about.
Absolutely.
He doesn't believe in lost causes, James Vaughan. There's Reeves, outside of his boot to find Vetekele. Reeves again. Clark flinging himself at the ball. There's Aribo. Now Lyle Taylor. Ben Reeves, another important block. It was Naylor that time.
Yeah, it's a rear guard, still hanging in there. Still keeping this deficit to just one. Good defending. Lost plenty of attempts from Charlton.
Gareth Evans is onside here and didn't make the most of it. Curtis was screaming for the ball at the far post.
Yeah, the rare forays that they are having. It's that final piece of the jigsaw. Tight decision, but I think the assistant has got that right. This is going to take something unbelievable for Gareth Evans to score from there. Head down, totally ignores a couple of teammates that are supporting him. It's as wild as it gets. And that's a player that is usually so very, very composed.
Yeah, he's been switched to the number 10 position this season. Kenny Jackett says he should have moved him there earlier. But we think Kenny Jackett's about to take him off. There's Aribo. Now Cullen. Aribo losing out that time to Curtis. Here is Evans, who runs into Cullen. And Cullen keeps on running. Now it's Taylor. And Cullen just kept on going.
He's been brilliant, he really has. I mean, you have to say a couple of key Charlton players have had to leave the field injured, but you wouldn't know it, would you? It's been seamless. Josh Cullen led the charge. Wonderful industry from him. It's a holding midfielder, managing to make a foray forward there.
Really struggling, Josh Cullen. It was his cross which led to John Marquis's own goal against Doncaster last week. I think Cullen's still trying to claim it.
Good luck with that one.
He's been talking to you too much, I think. Battle recommences inside the Portsmouth penalty area. There's Reeves, creating room for the cross and did really well. It was Clark again who met it for Portsmouth. Reeves. Gareth Evans comes out on top. Foul there by Dagsteel. The referee did eventually blow the whistle for the foul on Naylor. Just seemed to get away from Dagsteel, so he lunged in.
He did. He leads with the studs. He may get a bit of the ball, but he also gets a little bit of Tom Naylor. Bouncing ball, he is a fraction late. It's a good decision.
Portsmouth are bringing on Brett Pittman, who is back in the picture. He replaces Gareth Evans. He was taken out of the matchday squads of late, Brett Pittman, because Kenny Jackett wasn't too impressed with his contribution. He was, though, the leading scorer last season with 25 goals, Brett Pittman.
The one thing he certainly does know is where the back of the net is. That's what they need right now.
Thompson, Pittman tried to get involved immediately, but was seen off by Reeves. Fosu. Sarr, has he gone for that, or was
Yes,
that a miscue?
that is a shot.
Well, he did score a free kick against Wimbledon from much closer in a couple of weeks ago. McGillivray was some way off his line here.
Spots the goalkeeper well off his line, and we'll say no more. Great when they come off.
Well, you know, they say he has the best feet at the club. He's the best finisher at the club, Naby Sarr. They've been working on getting a bit more of an aggressive streak in him, being a centre-back. And it's paid off. He's been excellent this season, Naby Sarr for Charlton.
He's had a strong evening tonight as well, as have every single one of his teammates, I have to say.
Portsmouth are still in this, 15 minutes to play, and roared on by over 3,000 fans here at the Valley. All at the end where Pompey are attacking, and that was a dangerous ball in, and Sarr dealt with it. Defending by Clark to keep Betekele at bay. The flag had gone up.
Portsmouth fans, fair play to them, trying to rally their boys, urge them on.
Pittman. Too much on it for James Ford. Another big day in the capital to come for them at the end of the month.
He will have parked that very much to one side. You must know that automatic promotion, breaking into that top two, is a very, very difficult task. But what he will want from his boys is to, at least, should the teams above slip up, put them in a position to take advantage of that. And that's why this was a big game tonight.
There's Brown. Curtis. Portsmouth get the free kick.
Still lively. I mean, you spoke about his energy levels, Ronan Curtis. He's still going, laid that ball off, spun in behind.
In 2018, he had about 2.5 weeks off. That was his holiday. Played the calendar year of 2018. But as we said before, his stats are still high in every game and also in every training session. Phillips with the decision to come, but Sarr took the decision out of his hands. Free kick conceded by Fosu.
Go down as a harsh one. Between them, the officials have decided.
Well, the referee has pulled that back. Wants the free kick taken again.
Well, they took it from the wrong place. That's why they were well in advance of where the infringement occurred. That is what referee Roger East is explaining. Look where he's walking to, and look where Pompey take the free kick from. Can't have any complaints.
Scrap going on between Burgess and Bauer, and Burgess got free and got his head on it. Then it comes off the head of Vaughan. Now Clark. Phillips gets hands on it.
Well, it's really good from Dylan Phillips. He's desperate to try and help his defenders out here as this ball pops up in the air there. He's positive, and I like that. Despite the fact it doesn't go a long way, it's really helped his defenders out there.
Jamal Lowe looking for Brett Pittman. He will be fired up and will feel he has something to prove to the manager who kept him out of the matchday squad. Jamal has gone down.
It's landed really heavily on his shoulder there. See the pain he's in. I can experience this myself. Goes down, it's in a really awkward position, the arm. Full force there, looked really horrible.
Whilst Jamal Lowe receives attention, Charlton are about to bring on Darren Pratley. Pratley getting ready as Charlton look to try and see this game out. Portsmouth have used all three of their substitutes. Jamal Lowe looks like he's okay to continue. He was a PE teacher when he was making his way in non-league football, Jamal Lowe. Pittman. Curtis, seen off by Dagsteel. Vetekele. Curtis picks up. Now Pittman. Pittman looking for Jamal Lowe, and it goes just beyond Curtis. Portsmouth a whisker away from levelling up.
Wow, and that is the moment that everybody connected with Portsmouth has been waiting for. They've hung in all night to get this opportunity. Wonderful play from Pittman. The diagonal ball picks out Jamal Lowe. He's trying to find that far corner. He pulls it a little bit, and it is inches away from Ronan Curtis. That's just how tight this game still is, despite the fact there's no doubt Charlton Athletic have been much the better team. One moment, that's all it takes.
Charlton making the change. Off goes Igor Vetekele, who's had an impressive evening. And on in his place comes Darren Pratley, as Charlton look to bring the shutters down on this game. Pratley was brought in by Lee Bowyer because he feels players in this league take an extra touch, and Pratley can snap in and win the ball back for Charlton.
Very, very experienced player. Experience will definitely come in handy in situations like this. Wanting to help manage this game.
Charlton not in a hurry. Away from doing the double over Portsmouth. Taylor gets his head on it. Always difficult to try and get over it.
Look at Ben Reeves from behind here, gives him a shout. You have a look at the in behind him. If they both miss that, Ben Reeves is coming onto that. It's always difficult for Lyle Taylor to score from there.
That's Pratley. There's Pittman.
Definitely had an impact, Brett Pittman, hasn't he? He's been able to hold the ball up a little bit. He's probably had more touches already than Oliver Hawkins had.
Yeah, he's playing a little bit deeper. A role just behind the striker, Brett Pittman.
He's been involved, hasn't he? And he's produced. Certainly their biggest chance of the second half. Really their biggest chance of the game, other than the goal that they scored.
Naylor. There's Christian Burgess. Pittman dropping deep, demanding the ball. It's gone beyond him. That's Brown. Marlowe reacting. This is Curtis who leaves it to Brett Pittman. Didn't quite dip enough.
Like I say, this fella knows where the back of the net is. He didn't even think twice, did he? Once this ball landed at his feet, desperately trying to bend that into the far corner. It's a decent effort. Ultimately, Dylan Phillips is happy. That is going over the bar.
Portsmouth player in over a decade to score 20 league goals or more last season. Brett Pittman, since the days of Stanislav Todorov.
In a long time then, you mean, yeah? There's no doubt about it. The substitutions have had an impact for Portsmouth, and the feel around the place is different. Portsmouth are much more on the front foot, probably, than they've been in the whole game.
Curtis with the corner, straight into the hands of Dylan Phillips. Well, we're in London tomorrow for Super Sunday. Chelsea against Wolves from West London, 1 o'clock, Sky Sports Premier League. Then it's to North London, Arsenal against Manchester United, 4:15 on Sky Sports Premier League. Taylor. Aribo. Fosu. No foul, wasn't caught by Thompson. Aribo wins it back for Charlton.
Strong all-round game he's had, Joe Aribo, with and without the ball. A number of challenges he's made, tackles he's won. Scored that all-important first goal.
Charlton's certainly grateful that Marcus Gale, his manager at Staines, put that call into Jason Newell. He said, I have a player here, come and have a look. Donahue. Off the head of Dijksteel. Curtis again, trying to get to it. Donahue. There's Aribo once more, showing his strength. He's had an excellent night.
Oh, outstanding. Certainly been able to see what all the fuss has been about, haven't we?
Had a knee injury around December and January time, which Lee Bowyer believes put off, for now, clubs who are after Joe Aribo. However, they could come calling in the summer. That's Pittman. Thompson plays it straight to Lyle Taylor, who is the match winner as it stands. There's Fosu. Nicely done by Burgess, who just prized the ball away from Tariq Fosu. James Vaughan. That's Purrington. Now Reeves.
You can see the intent here. Charlton literally committing no bodies forward onto the corner flag.
Well, Lyle Taylor's in the penalty area, just saying, just pointing to the corner. Go for the corner flag, and he's got the free kick. That's Tariq Fosu.
It's called game management. Be shocked if this ball goes anywhere other than remain in the same vicinity too. To say.
Into 4 additional minutes. Portsmouth hoping for one opportunity in those final 4 minutes to snatch a point here. At the moment, Lee Bowyer adding to his burgeoning reputation as a manager. His contract is up in the summer. He's had the conversation with Charlton, who told him they do want to offer him a new deal. He's now waiting for the second conversation about the deal.
Well, I don't really think that he can commit himself, no matter how much he loves Charlton Athletic, until he knows what's happening for next season, what league they're in, what players they still have at the club. I think there are 14 players out of contract in the summer. It's going to be a massive summer for Charlton Athletic.
This is Brown, and it's Jamal Lowe. It's a big block from Bauer. Pittman. That's Aribo. Portsmouth are not done yet. Cullen. Now Fosu, whose ankles were clipped. But bodies on the line time at the back there for Charlton. The yellow card for Naylor.
Yeah, but you won't worry about that. It's hearts in mouth time for Charlton Athletic, and Patrick Bauer makes a captain's block here, doesn't he? Brilliant run from Lee Brown, pulls it back, and you think Jamal Lowe is going to make up for that earlier miss, but defending from Patrick Bauer is exemplary. Vital block. Danger gone. Is that the match-winning block?
Well, the Portsmouth fans have been singing their hearts out here this evening, but now it's Charlton voices filling the air at the Valley. Charlton, who've been singing plenty of songs throughout this game too, but now the Portsmouth end's gone quiet away to our left. However, still time left for them to try and get something out of it. Burgess, seen off by Taylor.
Yeah, brilliant. He's run a very, very long way, the striker, to stop that ball going into his team's penalty area. It's brilliant. And again. It's been a really team effort, hasn't it? Big team effort here tonight.
Can Portsmouth save this? Here's Thompson. Jamal Lowe. Purrington holding him up, and Purrington coming away with the ball.
It's going to come back though.
Donahue. Everybody forward here for Portsmouth, apart from Burgess and McGillivray. This is Pittman. Christian Burgess. 30 seconds to play. Curtis. Bauer. Donahue. Brown. 6 in the box for Portsmouth. Curtis swings it in. Pittman trying to hold off Cullen. Donahue. Lyle Taylor getting back goal side. Burgess. The 4 minutes are up. Pittman. Vaughan with the header. This is Naby Sarr taking no chances. Naylor. James Vaughan again. Now it's Reeves. James Vaughan once more. Purrington with the clearance. Still we play on. Naylor. Jamal Lowe looks like he came from an offside position. He did indeed.
Yeah. Suspect that will be that.
Well, it may be turbulent off the pitch at Charlton Athletic, but this patch of grass has become a place of solace for Charlton Athletic. A huge win here against Portsmouth this evening. Joe Aribo set them on their way. A class act and a classy goal to put them in front. Ronan Curtis levelled just before half-time with a thumping header. He's thumping the turf in frustration at the end, and the match winner was Lyle Taylor, who was poaching in the 6-yard area to win it for Charlton, and it's a big win.
It is a big win, I have to say. I was very impressed with them. This is potentially a playoff game in the making, isn't it? And what Charlton have done tonight is seal the double over Portsmouth, and you wonder if they do end up playing each other, whether they will have the psychological advantage. Kenny Jackett will tell you differently, but I think overall I don't think anybody can argue Charlton were impressive, and Charlton deserved the 3 points tonight.
Yeah, Charlton with a better team, and they have won the points, and now they're just 2 points behind Portsmouth. Lee Bowyer has given up on a place in the top 2. He says he's a realist. It's all about the playoffs for him and making sure Charlton stay in there, but as Don mentioned, who knows, these two could see each other again in the playoffs. Plenty of games to be played until then, but tonight Charlton have won, and let's get some reaction. Let's join Jonathan Oates.
Well done, fellas. Joe, does that feel like an especially big 3 points against the promotion rival?
Yeah, it's a massive 3 points. I mean, we've been working all week on it, and I just said, we just need to get the 3 points, and it's just a massive one.
Really well taken goal from you. You're looking forward to watching that back later?
Yeah, I recorded it, so I'm going to watch it later. So,
Lyle, the winner for you, and how well did Ben Reeves do to cut that ball back for you just after coming on?
He did brilliantly. He could have gone for it himself, but he seen me out the corner of his eye with a tap in, and fair play to him. He rolled it and put it on plate for me, so I've got to thank him for that in a minute.
Your 16th goal of the season, the first since Carlton Grant left for Huddersfield. You had a really good understanding between the pair of you. Have you had to adapt your game since he left?
Yeah, we've had to. It's hard because me and Carlton spent almost every minute of the season playing together, so it's difficult for anybody else coming into that partnership because we've not played a lot of football together. So me and Igor work at it, and Igor's a very good footballer. So he'll only get better and a better understanding with me, and I'll only get a better understanding with him.
Joe, how much confidence does this give you going forward for the playoffs? If it is to be playoffs, you could end up playing Portsmouth, couldn't you?
Like I said, it was a massive 3 points, and it's just given us a lot of confidence. We just got to keep going and keep getting results and performances.
Well done, Lyle. If you do the honours, please. Joe Aribo is the Sky Bet man of the match.
We can certainly hear the Charlton faithful in full voice. There may be disagreements and debate off the pitch, but on the pitch they're very much together. The first match of a two-match ban that Lee Bowyer served, a touchline ban. He saw the game up in the stands, but quite rightly going down onto the pitch to take the plaudits. A dominant display from his side as they've beaten Portsmouth 2-1 here this evening. There's the rest of the day's results in Sky Bet League 1. Well, Barnsley are unbeaten in 16 league games now after beating Accrington 2-0. Bradford City in Gary Bowyer's first game in charge beat Peterborough 3-1. Luton Town stretched their unbeaten run to a hefty 23 league games with a draw at Plymouth. And a crazy game at Sunderland. There was a 94th minute equaliser from Duncan Watmore, plus 3 red cards in stoppage time. Here's how it affects the top half of Sky Bet League 1. Charlton now 8 points away from Doncaster in 6th, more importantly 8 points away from Peterborough in 7th, well within the playoff places. Luton's lead cut to 3 points. Barnsley's win takes them 4 points away from Sunderland in 3rd. Well, tomorrow in the first half, a smart turn and shot, his 6th league goal of the season. Ronan Curtis responded just before the half-time break, though, with a thumping header for Portsmouth to bring them back level. It was Lyle Taylor who was on the spot to make sure his 16th league goal of the season was the winner for Charlton. Michael Brown is alongside us. He's watched the game with me here in the studio. Do we look at that as a very simple, not necessarily straightforward, but for Charlton, they dominated the game. They won 2-1. Is it a fair result?
It's a fair result. Like you say, they dominated with the possession, with chances and opportunities. We knew they were good at home performing. Goals have been the issue. They managed to get the 2 goals today. Portsmouth were disappointing. You're sort of saying, how was their reaction going to be? The last 2 results have done OK. But yeah, very disappointing. But Charlton can move on from there now. Lee Bowyer can get back down to the touchline, or he might decide to sit up.
Stay away up there in the box.
Stays up there.
Just from Pompey's point of view, I mean, it was 2 good results prior to this, getting to the Checkatrade final and a thumping victory last weekend. Is it a sign of the inconsistency that's crept into their game since they did relinquish top spot?
Possibly. I thought they were poor. I think we've got to look and say Charlton were better than them. Full credit to them. Portsmouth have got to build on that. If they want to be actually in these playoffs and get promotion, they're going to have to be more consistent. Obviously, goals against Bradford 5, but was it slightly fortunate with Bradford obviously now changing the manager, etc. So timing, Bury a league below. So let's see where they end up in the next few weeks.
It was Joe Aribo that put Charlton ahead just before half-time. A smartly taken turn and shot, but from Portsmouth's point of view, questionable defending.
Very much so. And you look how deep they are there now in the clip. I think they can come right up towards the edge of the box and creep up. They're very disjointed, not together. They allow Aribo to turn. I mentioned it at half-time, Burgess not going tight. And it's this area now. You've got him. You know he's on his left foot. Get across early. It's fortunate that it goes through his legs. It's a good finish. But at the first phase, make sure you're tight so you can't turn around.
Is it about keeping him facing away from the goal?
Very much so. Keep it really tight. Come up against him, then you touch tight. obviously getting a nudge, make it difficult for him, but they were too deep in the first place, which allowed the room for him to turn.
But Pompey did react before half-time. Thumping header by Ronan Curtis got them right back in the game, didn't it?
It was a great header at the back post. He just wanted it. You can see, you know, he still had a lot to do. It was a great leap, great header. And you know, for no shots in the first half on target, they got away with it slightly to go in and obviously have an account, see where they're going wrong. That was the manager's job, but they came out and obviously didn't really improve. Towards the end of the game, they did push on and try to get that equaliser, but it was too little too late.
Well, we heard Lyle Taylor talk to Jonathan Oakes after the game about his relationship with Karlan Grant. Yes, Karlan Grant's moved on. The winning goal, his goal, was his first goal since his strike partner had left the club.
He'll needed that, you know. It was slightly fortunate. It was a little bit of a ricochet. I'm not sure if there was a handball in the build-up.
Is there a handball here for you?
I think there is. It gains an advantage. It's a very, very tough one for the officials, but it does just come off Reeves' hands and he just manages to poke it in. But if that's a VAR situation, which we're going to have a lot of coming up into the next season, then that will be one they'll be looking at.
I mean, from Portsmouth's point of view, is it the reaction? Does it favour the strikers, the reaction?
Well, it's just there. You look, they're all appealing for the handball. It's very hard to spot there, but just literally it's going away from goal, but when it hits his left hand, it comes back inside onto his right foot. He's able to poke it inside, and they're the little details, you know, that are going to be the difference for VAR.
Could you understand what Lyle Taylor was saying when he talked about working and training with his former strike partner and how kind of partnered and collected they'd got in playing in a certain way, and he's got to almost relearn how to go about the second half of the season?
But that's a test as a young player. Do you know, we know you've seen all the great partnerships over the years in teams and in top ends of the table. You're used to scoring that little link, that understanding. We've seen a couple of balls, you know, with Charlton, little overs that they left and little 1-2s that they tried to make happen. But that's that understanding. And as a player now, it tests him. He will try and learn from it, and hopefully he can build a relationship with him.
Well, Portsmouth certainly had the chances to equalise. I mean, out of the two of these, the first one, it's a huge opportunity, isn't it, Jamal Lowe?
Yeah, massive chance. And this is the difference, you know, being clinical, you can't miss that opportunity. At the back post, it's
Is he going
clear.
for goal there, or is he going across goal to get Curtis in?
He's got that close. I think he's going for goal. It's a shame if it's on his right foot. I think he would probably have done better. But they're the difference, that little bit of quality, and you're in that area, you've got to make it count.
Do we laud Charlton for the defending right to death there?
Yeah, great defending, getting the blocks on. There was the first phase and the second, and that's what Lee Boyer will be proud of, how they've seen the game out. They haven't obviously done that well of late, so that's a big result to cement them right into that, you know, top six. Now there's a bit of a gap, and I think that's almost said that they're going to make the playoffs. Well,
it's a huge result for Charlton. Let's get the thoughts of their boss, Lee Bowyer, who's talking to Jonathan Oakes.
Well done, Lee. How was that watching from up high? Should you have been sitting a lot more comfortably than you were in the end?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say we deserved to win the game and we should have won by more. Josh Cullen had the chance early on in the first half. Igor on the back. But that's what's been happening with us lately. We've been getting draws because of things like that, and just not being clinical in front of goal. But thankfully, the most important thing is that we got the 3 points, and I thought we probably deserved it. I thought we played well today.
Having been pegged back just before half-time, what did you say at half-time to make sure that you went on and got the initiative again?
I just said I want more. I want more, and I know what they're capable of. I know our fitness is a lot different to everybody else's. You know, we keep going and fighting to the end, and I said, look, they're going to come at us again. This side, they're there for a reason. They've been in the top two for a long time. And they're a good side, and they're a physical side, and I thought we stood up and was all men today. We competed, like I said, we had to, but then when we won the ball, we done what we're good at, and we moved it quickly, and I thought they found it difficult.
Great turn and finish for the first goal by Joe Aribo. How good can he be?
I've been saying for a while, he's a very good player. I think we was lucky really in the January window that he was injured, because I think we'd have lost him. He's very good, and he's got so much more to learn, and yeah, he's one that we want to keep.
10 points off the top two now. Is automatic promotion still a possibility, or are you looking at nailing a playoff place as soon as you can?
No, I think now it's for the top two to lose, really. If I'm honest, I'm a realist. But our job will just keep going, keep winning games, and in 2-3 weeks' time, then you never know where you are and who's done what. And because the game's crazy at times, and the results today, no one would have predicted them results today. So for us, we just keep working hard and see where we end up at the end of the season. But we've got our objective is to get promotion. Which way we do it, then that's up to others.
And things becoming calmer off the field as well. Any progress on your contract talks and the takeover talks as well?
I don't know anything about the takeover. Regarding contracts, someone did say that the club are interested in offering me a new contract, so I don't know when that's going to happen, but I've been told that they want to offer me a new contract, so that's the off-the-field stuff. And I have to say, our fans was great today. I said it was going to be a great atmosphere and the place was rocking like the old days, so yeah, I'm over the moon.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, it's the first of 2-game touchline ban that Lee Bowyer will serve. This is where the 3 points takes Charlton, 8 points away from Doncaster in 6th, and Peterborough obviously on the same points as Doncaster, 4th and 5th in League One respectively. But when we're looking at where these two teams stand at this moment in time, Mike, do we write off the fact that they could go up automatically? Is the playoffs where they need to be aiming?
It is now. I think for me, Portsmouth, you're almost saying if they win that, could they put the pressure on? Barnsley are going extremely well. Sunderland, obviously, the game in hand can still kick on. It's probably one too far for either team to get automatic. But, you know, the playoffs is a good achievement from these sides, and, you know, there'll be teams that they won't want to play them.
Is it an understatement to say that he's done a terrific job in difficult circumstances, Lee Bowyer?
He's done a great job. You look, there's lots of players out of contract. There's talk about championship wages that are paid at Charlton. They'll look to cut that budget, which will be a shame because that's helping him now get where they are. So he's done a great job. Just seeing his interview there about he doesn't know about off the field. I hear that I might be getting a contract, but why have they not told him? Why is that communication not there? Why don't they actually tie Lee Bowyer down, Johnny Jackson? Because of the good job they're doing. And that's the uncertainty now when you hear those interviews. What frustrate the supporters and people in football, like we're discussing now, they've got to make sure that's in order very quickly.
Well, they are reportedly hoping to open contract talks with Lee Bowyer and his assistant Johnny Jackson very soon. But as Michael quite rightly alludes to, it's not just the coaching staff that are out of contract. It's a whole host of players that have had a real effect on today's game, on the season in general, that are out of contract. I mean, if you looked at a worst-case scenario, you could be looking at a Charlton Football Club that would look completely different to the one it does right now at the start of next season.
It would look completely different. What would be interesting is how many of those players would Lee Bowyer want? How many, you know, he won't want all of them, I'm sure, but there's people in there he'd certainly be looking to get those contracts tied up very quickly. But again, you know, why is this uncertainty? Why aren't they still making these decisions? So even though the club's in turmoil and you want to sell, this is still building in the future, if he hasn't sold the club, that you must get these in place.
And with regards to the ownership and the noises coming out about they want the EFL to buy the club, they don't quite know where they are at this moment in time, but what you saw from them on the pitch today suggests that within the confines of the big patch of green stuff in the middle of the stadium, they do get it right. They are getting it right, and that's the important thing. Do you know, for Lee Bowyer and the football that we're here to discuss, long-term the supporters need the ownership, sort of, you know, looking after, but they're doing things right on the football pitch with the players playing with a great style of football. We can see that he wants to play in the correct way, and long may that continue, and hopefully they can keep developing as a club and as a young management team in Johnny Jackson and Lee Bowyer. OK, so good night for Charlton Athletic and Lee Bowyer, but a frustrating one for Portsmouth and their boss Kenny Jackett. We'll get his thoughts after the break. Well, Portsmouth lead the Valley empty-handed here this evening after losing 2-1 to Charlton. They stay fourth in Sky Bet League One, though. Let's get the thoughts of their manager, Kenny Jackett, who's now talking to Jonathan Oakes.
Well, Kenny, you had your chances late on. Did you think you'd done enough to get something out of the game?
Yeah, some big moments. Obviously, you know, we conceded the second goal when we're down to 10. Nobody's fault if the player goes off the field like he does, you know, Gareth Evans does, and then, you know, we're quite a long time with 10 men, and we've conceded in that period. which is disappointing. As you say, had some big chances after that, but I did think Charlton were good though as well. They're very good in midfield. You know, they're strong the way they play. Lyle Taylor pulls out to the left-hand side and can both kill you right back and then get in behind him as well. So, you know, different way that they play, but very, very, very strong in midfield, and you know, something that right the way through the game I didn't think we really got to grips with. Having said that, as I said earlier, some key moments. You know, one player going off just after a disallowed goal that was offside, and then, as you say, you know, the last 20 minutes where we looked strong and could have got a draw out of it. It's really important we learn though from today. Disappointing that we've lost a probably, you know, a quality game, I would think, but you know, we are disappointed to lose, definitely, and those fine moments, you know, define many games. But also the important thing is, you know, what we learned from today.
Having got back into the game just before half-time, how crucial was it that you got that next goal? Would we be talking about a completely different second half?
Yeah, maybe so, but obviously Charlton are going for it as well. And as I said, you know, the standard of the players, Bellic, Aribo, it's, you know, high standard of players that will go a long way in the game, and they play to their strengths.
How was it that they were able to impose themselves soon in the game today? Yeah,
first 5 or 10 we started well and got out down the right hand side, and as I said, you know, they're strong in the middle of the field, and that was probably the difference today.
Brett Pitman came on and made a difference. Is there a role for him going forward for the rest of the season now? Yeah, definitely. I do feel, you know, if the right setup is there around him, and you know, he showed today. He showed some quality, I feel, and you know, while it was more of a provider rather than a goal scorer that he's been, you know, if he can make that type of impact, then you know, we can definitely get, you know, another role for him, even if it is slightly deeper. And I do feel as well, you know, if Brett spends time on the pitch one way or another, he will score goals. Does it feel like a missed opportunity, or the results have largely gone in your favour today?
Yeah, they have, and it shows you how hard it is. You know, it's difficult, and you know, for Charlton, it was a big day for them today, and good atmosphere. And as I said, a cracking game. And while we're frustrated, we've got to sort of respect Charlton, definitely, but most importantly, learn from it.
Are you looking more realistically at playoffs now, do you think, rather than automatic?
It's this you know, big stretch with 10 games to go, and there is a gap. But you know, you need to probably win, you know, 8, maybe 9 out of 10. But you can do that, and you can do that at a club like Portsmouth, where you know, they have the players and they have the momentum.
Thanks, Kenny.
Cheers, Tom.
So, Michael, was it as simple for Portsmouth as not being good enough in both boxes this evening? Possibly. I think it was interesting to see Kenny Jackett there mention the midfield. I mentioned at the start of the show, how could they control that diamond? And they couldn't today. The midfield 3 struggled against the 4 of the diamond, and that was the difference. They couldn't get to grips and get playing and get those wide players in low, you know, Curtis, and that's the difference. And with the games coming up that Portsmouth have, is the one that stands out for you, the Checkatrade Trophy final? I mean, could this be a game, as we've seen in recent years with Barnsley, with Bristol City, that a good result there propels them onto promotion? It's, well, it could propel them. It's a brilliant game for them, something to look forward to. It's a great day out for the supporters to go back to Wembley. I know they've not really been supporters of such Portsmouth of the actual competition, but now I'd say get behind those players, and now they're in the final. But you know, it's dreams for those players to go and play at Wembley. It's a great occasion, and against Sunderland now with that tie, and the attendance could be huge for the game. So yeah, it's something that I'm sure the manager and the players will be looking forward to. And the first time back there since 2010 puts it into quite sharp focus, doesn't it? It does. 2010, I played in the game against Chelsea. It wasn't to be, and so you look at the club, how it's developed at that point where they're going out of business, even though we're in a final, but we're relegated. It's great to see them now on a more solid platform, just ticking over nicely. Can they get back to the Championship and keep growing? But they're in a much more financial sound, you know, place than they were. Top stuff, Michael. Stick around for the goals show. OK. Here's what's coming up for you on Sky Sports. Live golf tonight. The Arnold Palmer Invitation is going on right now on Sky Sports Golf. Tommy Fleetwood currently leads the field at 8 under. And on Thursday, the Players' Championship from Sawgrass. All the coverage begins 5 p.m. Sky Sports The Players. Your show next. Michael will be alongside me for that. All the reaction to Darren Moore's sacking by West Brom. That's next, Sky Sports Football. So, and sends the off the pitch for Charlton, but United on it. They're 5th, firmly in the playoff picture. Goodbye.
Played a lovely ball into Aribo, who spun beautifully. That is class. Now I'm trying to keep a watch on Clark. Gone beyond those two, and Curtis, that's a thumping header. Now that's how to respond. Aribo, Reeves lurking here, Ben Reeves, Taylor reacting. Born in Charlton territory, he's making his mark on his home turf.
Sky Sports main event. Feel it all.